Session of my online classes for those of you who truly want to dive into photography. Yes, I said for those of you who truly want to dive into photography. If you want to get into photography and you are looking forward to building your skill and being able to master everything that is required for you to capture amazing images, then this video is for you. Remember, if you are inspired and you are willing to capture great images, then this video is for you. I have made other videos in my channels where I actually teach people how to understand their cameras and how to use what kind of setting to get what kind of particular look that they want from their cameras. In today's video, I will be talking more about external flashlights. And as you can see with me over here, we do have a piece of an external flashlight. This is the Godox Vistro AD200. I truly love this guy because with this piece of gear, it makes my life so flexible. Yes, it makes my life so flexible because there are so many circumstances where I found myself in, but with the help of this guy, I truly made a win out of that. And today, we will be talking about using speed lights or flashlights during the day. Do you think it's possible in photography? Many people will say there is no need for me to use a flash because there is already sunlight and so much more other excuses that they want to give. But in this video, I will give you the advantages of using a speed light or flashlight when you are shooting outdoor or under the sun. Depending on which location you find yourself, sometimes you might find yourself at a point where you cannot move your subject or you cannot turn around to face the light or to have your subject be hit by direct sunlight or some other circumstances. You are in a situation where you truly want to show the backgrounds of the area in which you are capturing your images, but due to the high sunlight that is available, you are not unable to actually capture that with just your camera itself, because there are very much lots of things that you need to do, you need to put in terms of settings on the camera for you to capture your subject and the background for it to be as visible as truly you want it to be. And at this point, we are talking about you using your camera in a manual mode where you decide to whatever settings you want in terms of ISO, shutter speed, and f-stop, okay, aperture. Now let's take, for example, you find yourself in a yacht, okay, and you're going for a shoot, and yes, the boat will be sailing towards a particular direction, and you cannot tell the captain, no, you need to sail this side because I need to capture a photo from this side. And that is the point where it's important for you to carry some of these things with you because they will make your life beautiful. Now, why do I say they will make your life beautiful? I say so because at this point where you don't have control of the light, of natural light, then you can see how you can match your camera setting to suit the natural light, and any other negative or any other shadows can then be filled with the flashlight. And trust me, the images that you capture with the flashlights, they are crisp, okay? Very, very crisp. I know what I'm saying, and I've practiced this in so many occasions, and I've seen the difference. And I always advise you, if you have one of these and you're going for a yacht shoot, I don't care whatever camera you're using or whatever lens you're using. Try putting one of these in your bag and use them on set. Why do I definitely not recommend speed lights most of the time I don't recommend speed lights, especially for the fact that they will be mounted on top of the camera, and I truly don't like them mounted on top of the camera unless in a situation where I am in an event environment and I don't want to make a loud exhibition of flashes and so much more. Then I can consider having a speed light on top of my camera to capture those events moment. But if you are diving into yacht and party and so much more, I highly recommend one of these for you. And for this Godox Vistro AD200, depending on the camera in which you're using, they are actually being connected or being informed or being activated through the use of a trigger that will actually be mounted on top of your camera. Actually, this is not a beginner's photography tutorial or learning curve. So if you don't know about transmitters and receivers, then you can actually watch my other videos from the link over here. If you haven't watched, then feel free to follow the link over here or get into my page and get to the playlist of photography online classes for you to be able to learn those things that you had missed. Now, provided you have your camera with you and you have your diffuser and you have your transmitter, and this transmitter is actually designed for Canon cameras. This is the Godox X Pro C. Okay, beneath them you always see the camera mark. If it's for Nikon, you find an N. If it's for Sony, you find an S below it. So this man actually uses wireless transmission signal to inform this man that, hey, look, this is what we are doing, so you need to give us some light. Okay, like now I have it switched on and my strobe light is switched on depending on the channel in which I have placed the strobe light. Okay, now if I do the test, you see, there we go with the test flash. Okay, now let's say you are outside, like in the scenario which I gave, at the beach or at the yacht, and you want to capture some images. I shoot this directly without diffusion, and it gives an amazing result. Have a look at this result and tell me what you think. These results are amazing, and these are results from my last photo session at the yacht, where I made use of this. The reason why I did that was because I wanted to make this video for you guys. So I needed some evidence to show you guys how things went out. And yes, you always want to think about the best way to reduce cost in terms of equipment and so much more. But it is important to have the necessary equipment. It is very important. Having one of these is a life changer. Combining it with a speed light on top of your camera could be a good option. But not having it at all cannot deprive you from getting shoots. But you always want to make your life easy as a photographer, right? So why not get one of these for yourself? Get one of these for yourself and kill yourself that stress of, oh my God, the image is not well exposed, and so forth and so forth. Because the best thing you want to do is to see that you can capture images, go sit down and process them in very less time. The faster you can process those images, the faster you can finish the work and move on to the next. And this is a game changer for me, and I believe it will be a game changer for you too, if only you can put it in practice. Now, the camera settings that you would have to set for this will depend on you, on also on the location and position where you find yourself. So I might not tell you and tell you, oh, your f-stop has to be 1/60th of a second and your ISO has to be 400 and this has to be this and this has to be that. I would not have to tell you these things. You will have to determine these things based on the situation in which you find yourself, why you are creating that content or why you are taking that shoot. So trust me, one of these X Pro and one of these AD200 will take you a long way as a photographer. And I use this for food photography and everything. And the truth about this flashlight is at full power, you can do up to 24 hours without recharging. Yeah, but I rarely use it at full power. So most of the time I use this for more than a week before I recharge. Unlike the strobes, where you always need to connect it to power supply, these guys are a game changer. And I'll always advise you to get one of these. Without taking much of your time, I'm going to close the topic today about this particular speed light because I just came up to tell you how important this speed light will be even if you use it outdoors. Thank you so much for joining us on this part of the video, and we always create content that educate people on how to become better photographers and videographers. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, feel free to subscribe. If you haven't followed us on TikTok, Instagram, then this is an opportunity for you to do so because there's a lot you're going to gain from here. Ciao. We'll see you in the next video. Don't forget, if there are other things you want to learn from my channel, you can always dive in and get to the playlist option and see exactly what we have for you to absorb. I'll see you next year.